Hello and welcome to the STEM Spotlight, the podcast where we break down, STEM related topics. I'm your host Arnav, and in today's episode we will be exploring a field of science that is developing a growing interest in people from the current generation: space, where everything remains a mystery. How can we know so much about a topic yet nothing about it at the same time? It feels weird just to say. Space is so vast that we will not be able to explore all of it for a while. But this is exactly what the scientists working in numerous rising space exploration companies are aiming to achieve. Out of what we have learned about space, though, we can make ground-level assumptions and test those assumptions. However, that does not mean that we are done exploring. Let's take a look at how some of the ways scientists are finding ways to learn more about our universe. Well, Arnav, you might be asking, what do you mean by space exploration? What are you exploring exactly? This is a good question, and I'm glad you asked because this is a question that is crucial to exploration of any kind. The point of exploring space has a couple of reasons. One, just out of curiosity, obviously, but the second is a little more nuanced and complicated. By now, most of us know that we are running out of space for humans on Earth. Along with that, we have a limited supply of resources, and we are trying to look for planets that fulfill these needs. But we are also trying to predict the changes that will happen in the future of the Earth and our galaxy and our universe as a whole. Incoming asteroids, collisions of galaxies, and much more have the potential to wipe out the human race, Earth, and much more depending on the intensity of the event. Predicting this first will allow us to make decisions in the future. Specifically, scientists study the movements of as many objects in space as they can to come up with hypotheses for the future of our planet. What do you need, though, to start understanding about space? Well, for us, a quick Google search could give us a surface-level insight, but that is information that scientists have already discovered and agreed to some degree on. But what if you want to find something new? There are a couple ways to do this. The first way is using satellites. Satellites are used for many different things and are very common when trying to study a foreign object with a communication platform to relay the information back to us. As of today, around 9,500 satellites are roaming the Earth itself, and they combine to provide us information such as weather, the internet, just to name a few. However, satellites have been sent to the Moon, Mars, and Jupiter to study different aspects of foreign bodies of space. Speaking about the moon is considered one of Earth's naturally formed satellites. It conducts many aspects of nature, but the most prominent one includes ocean and water tides. Satellites travel at extremely high speeds to stay in the Earth's orbit and not come crashing down. We'll touch on this more later. The second way is through rovers. Rovers are like cars that contain instruments to study the surface of the foreign bodies of space at a closer scale. Rovers can freely roam the surface of the object that it's studying and study it by running tests on samples from the planet itself. Rovers have studied the Moon and Mars, which has given insight into the sediments on the surface of those objects. There are mainly two different types of rovers. One is operated by a person or two, while the other is completely autonomous, from driving to collecting data and running tests. Rovers have helped us find out about Mars' ability to contain water, Moon's rocks, and more. Rovers are the second step into helping us study objects in space. The third way that scientists study planets, dwarf planets, and more is with rockets. Although rockets don't directly study foreign space objects, they're the most crucial part of any space exploration mission. All of the missions start off with a launch of a rocket. As complicated as rocket science could be for some of us, scientists have been making rockets for a while now, and they are essentially like an Amazon package delivering an object to space. Most of the time, the main goal of the rocket is to reach the Earth's orbit and make the vehicle move as fast as possible to give it the speed to stay in the orbit as mentioned earlier. Another common way that scientists explore objects in space is through telescopes. Telescopes are a great invention since we can observe and explore without moving from the comfort of our homes. The telescope was invented by Galileo and it has been used for centuries. It involves looking through a lens toward a certain object in space, and the telescope magnifies the object to a certain scale depending on the magnification of the telescope. This is very common knowledge, but when we look through a telescope, we use it to admire the fact that the object is bigger. Scientists, however, use extremely high magnification lenses on telescopes that are not commercially sold to us. They use their telescopes to look for structures on a planet or other objects to understand more about the planet or object's history. For example, a crater suggests either volcanic activity or meteor impact or something else, but either way, this information tells us something about the object's past. A well-known telescope is the Hubble Space Telescope. It is in space and it was launched by NASA, and it works somewhat like a satellite except it's a telescope. It studies foreign objects such as stars that are extremely far away to study properly from Earth with any size telescope, to studying the vast ocean of space. If this episode keeps you guys interested, we will make a part 2 to this episode and complete as many more instruments as possible. Space is vast, and most of us know that already. We have studied a lot of parts of our solar system, however, there are way more facts and discoveries to come across. The future of space exploration lies in the hands of the future generation of scientists who will carry on the exploration. Until then, keep learning and keep tuning into more videos such as this one. It's not rocket science. If you enjoyed this episode of the STEM Spotlight, be sure to check out our other videos on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcast, Amazon, or wherever you get your podcast from. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like, follow, and turn on notifications so you don't miss another episode. If you made it to this part of the video, we sincerely thank you for watching, and we are glad that you enjoyed. Until next time, I am Arnav, signing off.